Hello, Martin Jobson here. The MotoGP world is in an uproar after Francesco Bagnaia faced a challenging sprint race at Sachsenring, where he initially led but ultimately settled for third behind Jorge Martin and Miguel Oliveira. Despite the setback, the reigning MotoGP champion remains optimistic about his prospects in the upcoming main race. Reflecting on his performance, Bagnaia acknowledged improvements from a difficult Friday practice. He pointed out that without yellow flags, he could have secured pole position, highlighting the team's progress. However, issues during qualifying affected bike consistency, impacting his overall race strategy. During the sprint, Bagnaia made a strong start from fourth to lead briefly before Jorge Martin overtook him decisively on lap 2. Bagnaia admitted Martin's timing was strategic, noting that managing tyre pressures became critical as the race progressed. He praised Martin's tactical move, recognizing it as a smart maneuver given the race conditions. Looking ahead to Sunday's race, Bagnaia aims to optimize his setup with a switch to the medium rear tyre, hoping for improved competitiveness over the race distance. He emphasized the importance of maintaining position and managing tyre wear effectively, especially after struggling with front tyre degradation during the sprint. Overall, Bagnaia remains focused on closing the gap to Jorge Martin and Miguel Oliveira, confident that adjustments and strategic decisions will enhance his performance in the forthcoming Grand Prix at Sachsenring. Jorge Martin made a significant statement with his performance, showcasing his tactical prowess on the track. At the Sachsenring, Martin clinched his third consecutive victory, further solidifying his dominance by following up last season's double win with another triumph in the MotoGP sprint race on Saturday. Martin, the current championship leader, managed to extend his points lead to 15, marking a critical milestone in his season. This victory was particularly noteworthy as it marked his first win over Francesco Bagnaia since the sprint race in Catalunya 7 races prior. Martin's strategic insight and racing intelligence were evident as he navigated the track. Reflecting on his victory, Martin expressed his satisfaction with the race's outcome, noting the challenges he faced despite not being at his peak performance. He highlighted the importance of managing the front and rear tyres effectively, which was crucial for maintaining his lead and setting a strong pace. The Pramac rider acknowledged the upcoming long race on Sunday, but emphasized his current happiness with the sprint race result. The race started with Martin initially being pushed down to third position, a deviation from his usual ability to maintain the lead from pole position. However, demonstrating remarkable adaptability, he quickly altered his strategy and regained the top spot. Martin underscored the necessity of quick overtakes to avoid falling behind further, pointing out the complexities of maintaining tyre pressure under such conditions. Martin's victory was not just a result of speed, but also strategic brilliance. He recounted his decisive move on Bagnaia, utilizing the element of surprise to outmaneuver his rival. Recognizing Bagnaia's strong defensive braking, Martin executed a well-timed overtake, capitalizing on the moment when Bagnaia least expected it. Looking ahead to the next race, Martin expressed his intention to maintain his leading position right from the start. He acknowledged the need for continued vigilance, as Bagnaia would be prepared for counter-moves in future encounters. Martin's insightful race strategy and execution at Sachsenring underscore his growing expertise and assertive presence in the MotoGP Championship. Marc Marquez faced a challenging Sachsenring MotoGP weekend in Germany, where he rode for Gresini Ducati. His troubles began with a high-speed crash on Friday, resulting in a finger fracture and rib bruising. Despite these setbacks, Marquez showcased his innate speed by securing 5th place in the final practice session. However, his ambitions for a strong performance in qualifying one were thwarted by mechanical issues with his second bike and an obstruction by Stefan Bradl, who later received a penalty from the FIM stewards. Bradl apologized to Marquez, acknowledging his mistake and accepting the consequences. Marquez, meanwhile, found himself starting from the 13th position on the grid. In the sprint race, Marquez steadily overtook his competitors, culminating in a decisive last corner pass on Maverick Vinales, who was also contending with physical discomfort, to secure 6th place. Although he finished 6.281 seconds behind the race winner Jorge Martin, Marquez's goal of a debut victory on a Ducati seemed increasingly elusive due to the injuries, mechanical issues and qualifying difficulties he had encountered. Marquez reflected on the weekend's challenges acknowledging that to contend for victory, he needed everything to go perfectly. Instead, he faced a series of unfortunate events, from technical problems to his significant crash and the incident with Bradl during qualifying one. These disruptions made it nearly impossible to make significant progress from his starting position, especially on a track like Sachsenring with limited overtaking opportunities. Despite the obstacles, Marquez took solace in his competitive pace when he had a clear track, noting that it was comparable to the leading riders. However, he recognized that his physical condition made the upcoming race a test of endurance. He rode the sprint race under the influence of the strongest painkillers available. But the real challenge was the increasing pain from his rib injury as the race progressed. Marquez candidly shared that the fractured finger was painful but manageable, while the rib injury posed a more significant issue, particularly during deep breaths required in the race. His limited practice laps underscored the severity of his discomfort. Marquez attributed his ability to compete in part to the Sachsenring's predominantly left-hand corners, which were less taxing on his injured ribs. He admitted that a different track layout might have forced him to withdraw from the race altogether. As Marquez prepared for the main race, he remained pragmatic about his prospects, emphasizing survival and maximizing his performance given the circumstances. His resilience and determination were evident as he navigated a weekend that tested both his physical limits and mental fortitude. The recent developments at Sachsenring have illuminated several key dynamics within the MotoGP Championship. Francesco Bagnaia's performance, despite a challenging sprint race, reflects both the resilience of a reigning champion and the complexities of race strategy. His ability to rebound from a difficult Friday practice and lead briefly in the sprint race underscores his skill and determination. However, the issues faced during qualifying and the subsequent impact on his race strategy highlight the delicate balance required in MotoGP to maintain a competitive edge. Jorge Martin's triumph at Sachsenring marks a significant milestone in his career, further solidifying his position as a formidable contender. His third consecutive victory and strategic acumen during the race are testaments to his growing expertise. Martin's ability to adapt quickly, manage tyre pressures and execute decisive overtakes showcase his tactical brilliance, which has now extended his championship lead to 15 points. This performance not only demonstrates his racing intelligence, but also his ability to capitalize on the opportunities presented during the race. Miguel Oliveira's performance, placing second, also deserves recognition. His consistent pace and strategic positioning throughout the race reflect his potential to disrupt the usual frontrunners. Oliveira's ability to navigate the race conditions effectively and maintain a competitive edge against top riders like Bagnaia and Martin speaks volumes about his skill and the potential for future successes. Marc Marquez's weekend at Sachsenring presents a narrative of resilience and determination in the face of adversity. Despite a high-speed crash resulting in injuries, Marquez's ability to secure fifth place in the final practice and finish sixth in the sprint race demonstrates his innate speed and competitive spirit. His performance, despite the mechanical issues and injuries, reflects the mental fortitude required to compete at the highest level of MotoGP. The dynamic between Bagnaia and Martin during the sprint race adds a layer of strategic complexity to the championship. Bagnaia's acknowledgement of Martin's smart maneuver and his focus on tyre management highlight the intricate strategies employed by top riders. As Bagnaia looks to optimize his setup for the main race, the emphasis on tyre wear management and maintaining position will be crucial in closing the gap to Martin and Oliveira. Looking ahead to the main race, the competition between Bagnaia, Martin and Oliveira is expected to intensify. Bagnaia's switch to the medium rear tyre and his focus on strategic adjustments signal a determined effort to regain his competitive edge. Meanwhile, Martin's intention to maintain his lead and Oliveira's consistent performance set the stage for an exciting race. The interplay of strategies and the management of race conditions will be pivotal in determining the outcome. In summary, the Sachsenring weekend encapsulates the essence of MotoGP, a blend of skill, strategy, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. Bagnaia's optimism, Martin's strategic brilliance, Oliveira's consistency, and Marquez's resilience collectively highlight the multifaceted nature of the championship. As the riders prepare for the main race, their performances at Sachsenring provide valuable insights into their capabilities and the evolving dynamics of the MotoGP championship. Keep warming up your engines. See you at the next race.